You're listening to the best of inspirational music and conversation radio. Brand new day with Emily Blue, right here on We Talk Radio. We are so excited because we have an amazing person that is going to help celebrate our theme for this month, which is Healthy, Wealthy You. Please welcome to the Brand New Day family, Chef Cassondra Armstrong.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Estoy bien. Estoy bien. So let's go ahead and get started. Why don't you tell our listening audience a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, I'm known as the Healthy Chef here in Dallas, Texas, and one of the things that I promote is hard, smart, and healthy living. Food is our medicine, and medicine is our food. As we go into February with this Heart Month, and as a longtime standing ambassador for American Heart Association, it is important, particularly while we're in this pandemic, that we continue to promote hard, smart, and healthy living through plant-based food. I'm not going to call it a diet, so I'm going to call it a lifestyle, so that I hope to encourage you to continue this thing for a while. In honor of Sister Cicely Tyson, I was pleased to hear that she said that she had gone vegan and plant-based years ago. So in order to live to be 96, we got to make some changes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. As a matter of fact, my brother is vegan, so I've been slowly transitioning. I've cut dairy, so I'm well on my way.
Awesome. That's a great story. Well, pray because you want to live longer, Miss Deanne. If you want to live longer and have better quality of health, vegan is the big step. But if we transition with a little plant-based along the way, then we have the opportunity to see how well our body adjusts, how much better we feel, and how we're able to get more out of our day.
Awesome. Now, I love some veggies. I do love some veggies. I have to get my meat portions in slowly.
Well, reduce your meat portions. Let's start there. Reducing them. I always say this because I'm just a fish and chicken girl. Occasionally I'll eat a little beef or whatever. No, just mostly beef. Because I'm a chef, they tell me, Chef, you got to taste it. So I have to taste these other things. I don't particularly appreciate them, but I taste them. But what I've come to understand is that if I fill my plate up with veggies, that meat is the last thing on the plate, and usually the last thing on the plate once I'm done. So if we have maybe one carbohydrate and 2 to 3 vegetables on our plate, I have to tell you, we will begin to adjust.
Yes, I totally agree. Totally. So my question is, what inspired you to become a chef?
What inspired me? Well, I grew up with foodies all around me. My aunt was a home economics teacher in Mahia, Texas, where she taught home economics back in the day, when there was a home economics. My grandmother, for a long time, made soups for the Dallas Museum of Arts. Oh, wow. And so I've just kind of grown up around it. Everybody in my family cooks. I just happen to be the one with the paper, but they remind me that doesn't mean anything. As we get in the kitchen, I can cook better than you. We have our own little challenges going on. And so everybody in the family can cook. But what I realized is what would separate me from everybody else is having that piece of paper. And so as the second African-American female to go through the culinary program at El Centro, I did my internship at Hyatt Regency. Okay. And so I was told I was too pretty, too verbal, too vocal, and I wasn't going to make it. Your Susie Homemaker ideas won't work here, Cassondra. And so it infuriated me in that I've always been taught that, the sky's the limit. No one is telling you you can't anymore. And so to have someone tell me that I can't, or to prevent me from doing some things, just kind of put wood on the fire and fueled it a little bit in order to say, hey, I'm going to go get this. And once I get it, you can't take it away from me.
I hear that. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
So look, so now I got it, and they can't take it away from me.
Hey, at all.
That's right.
And look, everybody needs a little Susie homemaker every now and then, especially when you're talking about building generations. You need to be able to inspire women who are mothers or wives, or to be able to not only nurture their family with food, to be able to teach that so that our generations can continue the tradition and feed their families as well.
Well, here's the deal. During this pandemic, one of the things that I am finding that is most detrimental and beneficial is that we have to strengthen our core. And as people of color, brown people, Hispanics, or African-American people, we're the ones that the pandemic is hitting the most. And it's because of our underlying issues. Diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. And these are the underlying issues that we are not able to fight against the pandemic. Against the virus, I should say. So that is one reason why the Daniel fast was so important. The first 21 days, a lot of people took the whole month, which is really great. And then transitioning into plant-based, adding little dairy. Dairy causes inflammation, which causes other problems. It causes lots of mucus. Yes. And so these are things that we want to be aware of. People are asthmatic. People have all kinds of breathing problems. They breathe really deep. And that's because of sugar and dairy in our system.
Yes, so true, so true. And so I'm going to ask, especially because since we are in this very vulnerable position now as it pertains to our health due to coronavirus and the stresses that have come from social distancing, what foods would you suggest we get as much as we can to combat the potential for illness, be it coronavirus or otherwise? And I know we talked about the plant-based and the veggies in our system. I know some people, they have a hard time with those veggies. I don't, but what can we do with those veggies or incorporating fruits to our diets to help us combat these illnesses?
Yeah, here's the thing. We want to strengthen our core with vitamin D, with vitamin C, and vitamin A and E. Okay, those are the things that help to fight and keep our immune system intact so that we're able to fight whatever comes up on us. Now, one of the things that I'm understanding is that when the virus comes up on us, we don't feel good. Then we have a little fever. And the fever is just an indicator that our body is going to battle for us. It's saying, okay, what you got? What you coming up against me? So it's fighting. And so in order to keep that immune system strong, we need to eat those things. And we need to make sure that we have those things in our system. And I'm gonna share something with you. I'm gonna step away from the camera just a minute. I'm gonna give you something. But this is one of the go-to things that has been very helpful for us, and that is Dr. Jill Wagner. Oh, you can't see that very well. Dr. Jill Wagner supplement this is immune supplement builder, which is really good. And take that, and you can order this at askdrjill.net with that. But here is the other. Let's take care of that for you.
That's okay.
This is a shot of airborne.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, really important that we take this and keep it. Amazon delivered this yesterday for us. And so for me and my family, we take a shot a day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. And this helps to give us a jump start in our immune system. Right at the beginning of the pandemic, I would go out in the world is what I call it. and I would come back and I would feel a certain kind of way.
Yeah.
And so I would take, at the time I was taking me gummies, airborne gummies. They don't pay me for this, but I just know it works.
Right.
I would take the gummy, and in about 15 to 20 minutes I felt better. I've gone out, and when I'm around people and I come back and I don't feel 100, I go for this. And within 15, 20 minutes, I feel better. And so I'm an advocate of this. You take these and you know, at least twice a day. And if you are already sick, 3 times a day. And the best thing about vitamins and supplements is that, particularly vitamin C, is that once you've had or acquired your daily allowance of it, what will happen is the rest will be deposited through your urine. So you don't have to worry about ODing on it. But you cannot get enough to support your immune system during this pandemic.
Right. I know the other day, my father, he's actually going through some health issues, and I left the medical facility where he is, and I felt drained. And I went to Sprouts and I got some beet juice because I was like, I need to go to Sprouts and find me something for my immune system because I feel just drained, like something could be trying to get me. And I got some beet juice and I felt almost better instantly. Like I was alert. I didn't feel like, okay, is there a scratchiness coming up on me? So yeah, those little supplements like that, it wasn't the best tasting thing in the world, but I mean, it helped. And those little things like that, those little jewels, Airborne, I love Airborne. Those things are very helpful. Let me tell
you something. You mentioned beet juice, and that was one of the things I didn't mention this morning on my podcast with Dr. Jill, is beet juice is amazing. And you would be surprised how easy it is to make it at home. And so what I have done is I go get the fresh beets, wash them really good, peel them, water them, and boil them. Just enough water to cover it. And O to the M to the G. Wow. You're talking about something good and tasty. I love it as a tea. And so it's soothing, it's earthy, it's buttery. It's it helps your high blood pressure. It helps to bring your blood pressure down. So that's one of the things, and that's the thing that I suffer with, period. I won't say the most, but period. But to drink that and to make it is so earthy, it's so soothing and so warming and so nurturing. It's really good. So you don't have to buy it to pay all the money for it. Just go to the store, and then the greens, the top part of the greens are loaded with vitamin A and C, and you'd be surprised how it kickstarts your metabolism, and you feel like you're about to soar, you're about to run on. And so that is really, it gives you the natural energy that we need in order to continue to fulfill our day-to-day journey.
Okay, I'm going to go get that right now.
right. Because
yes,
when
that's really good.
Because when you mentioned about the beet juice, I struggle with that because my grandmother used to make me when I was little. She used to make me eat beets, and I hated them. But now that you have, reminded me of all of the health benefits of beets, I am definitely, because my family does have a history of hypertension, and with this pandemic, I've been struggling with my blood pressure too. I'm going to make some beet tea. Same here.
So, and it's really good. And so what you do is take the beets that are remaining. You just want to cover the beets, just enough water, not a lot. Generally, we throw that beet juice away, but that's where the propriety is. But we take those beets, roll them in grapeseed oil, with a little salt, pepper, and garlic, and roast them. Roast them in the oven. And you're talking about a snack.
I'm excited.
Oh,
That sounds so good.
And it's really great. It's really tasty too.
Okay,
I'm looking forward to it. So you've written several books, including your most recent one, 21 Days, A New You. What was the inspiration behind the 2 books that you wrote?
Well, what's interesting is that as an ambassador for American Heart Association, I was a part of their campaign, The Power to End Stroke. And with high blood pressure, it was one of the things that I felt like that, and it is among now COVID is up in that range of top 5 deadly diseases, but hypertension is one of them. Heart attack and stroke is another. Heart disease primarily is the number 2. So I knew that it was important that I was not the only one that suffers the word that with high blood pressure. So I think that is very crucial that we understand that food is our medicine and medicine is our food, so that we can heal ourselves. And so thus for 21 days, it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. And so in order to have a better you, and not just at the beginning of the year, but throughout the year, was always taught from my grandmother, the older we are, the less we should weigh, the better our bodies work for us. And I never want to look my age, I never want to look my age, and lifestyle brings it about us. Medicine with its side effects, also pulls on our youth. So it is very important that we consider a lifestyle change and consider it in 21 days so that it becomes 365 days that we're able to live, a better life.
Yeah. And see, one of the things that my father, like I was saying, I was visiting him the other day, one of the things that he's dealing with, he just had what appears to be a stroke. And he has high blood pressure, hypertension, and I think just the stresses of, we had relatives pass away recently that were very close to him. So I think all those stresses caused those underlying issues that brought about the stroke. So one of the things that we're going to have to try to figure out, because his movement is limited, is not only how to take care of him, but again, that diet. And so I really appreciate what you're saying here, because those are things that, especially as we get older and we get busy, we neglect a lot of how we maintain ourselves and our health and what we eat, all the fried foods. I'm dealing with stuff internally, and that fried food is not good for us, and it's so many things that, we could scrap away from our diets. So, we would love if you're able to leave us with a list, what are your lists that we can incorporate on our website so that our listeners can go and look at it for ourselves. Actually, you might have a link already where we can include that on our website so that our listeners can go and find this information, and so that we can take away some of those unnecessary items from our diet.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't necessarily have a list, but a list. I don't necessarily have a list because the list is vast, but basically the importance is we can get our protein not just from meat. Right. We can get it through potatoes. We can get it through beans and things of that nature. The key is to understand what it's doing in our system and what it does. So my suggestion as a walk away would be this. Let's look at food as what it is. It's either a veggie or carbohydrate or a protein or sugar or fat. So in doing so, I know this is how I look at it. Oh, I can do without those. I can do without those carbs. I don't do bread. I don't do bread. I don't do, I always tell people about fries, French fries. You got to have a fry buddy. Don't eat the fries by yourself.
Okay.
5 fries is what I tell people, and they just freak all out. Don't eat them 5 fries because we cannot exercise enough to get those calories out of our system.
Wow.
We exercise maybe an hour if we do that. But those fries are 200 and plus calories. We would have to work out 2 to 3 hours to get those calories out of our system. And so that's just with the fries. Don't mention the burger, don't mention the bread, don't mention, those kind of things. So the key is I don't eat that carb. I can do without that carb. The protein, I can get my protein from other things. If you're going to eat meat, unless it's fish and organic chicken, we want to look at it from the standpoint that less is better. Less is always better, so that we can get full. I was surprised today, Emily, you said you had an opportunity to look at the video, the Zoom video this morning that I made with Dr. Jill. I fed my brother, who is 6'2", almost 6'3", and I'm just gonna say 175, maybe 200 pounds, I don't remember, a plate of veggies. And he cleaned the plate. And I said, "You want some meat?" He said, "I don't need it now." And so we have a mindset with the food, but we have to make it tasty. Yeah. And so to make it tasty, people have an opportunity to enjoy it more. So my go-to is understand what food is. Right. It's either a vegetable, it's either a protein, it's either a carbohydrate, sugar, or fat. Okay.
And one more from me, because I'm over this Fearless Family segment. With regard to our children, some of our kids are very involved in activities. And I know my son, he's 10, he loves a good burger. My daughter, she's 8, she loves mac and cheese. Because when I hit 40, I realized that all of that stuff started tumbling down.
Doesn't it really?
Yes, it does.
It's something about that 40 that it just goes everything out the window. Look, I call these my grown and sexy glasses. When you get 40, you're grown and sexy. Right. You need these, But
exactly. With the kids,
for kids have a very high metabolism.
Yeah.
And that is fine because they're able to use those carbohydrates as fuel to the fire. Yeah. Which is very, very important and very good for them. But as we become more sedentary, those carbs are not as good for us. Okay. Your son can eat a burger right now because he's busy. He's active, unless he's playing those games and he's sedentary. And so everything in moderation. And you have to share with them. This is not necessarily a reward, not necessarily a cheat, but there's a time to enjoy these things. And it's not every day or more than once a week.
Yeah.
This is maybe once a month kind of deal. So as parents control what goes on in the house.
Yeah.
Right.
And you control what you shop for. So whatever goes in the cart, and we have to teach our kids, and maybe we'll do a cooking session one day, Emily, on
absolutely
healthy snacks for children.
That would be awesome.
And so how they're able to come into the kitchen and make these things, and the kids incorporating them in the kitchen so that they are familiar with it. We're developing their taste buds, in addition to allowing them an opportunity to like it. That's half the battle right there.
Yes, it is. Yes,
that's good. I have one last question, and my question is, what are some tangible ways that we can eat healthy on a budget? Because I know that's usually I won't say excuse, but to me, it seems like one. How can we eat healthy on a budget?
Well, here's the deal. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And so that's an old school adage that we should remember. You either pay now or you pay later.
Yeah.
So to eat healthy is a little bit more coins, but the fact of the matter is we would spend any amount of money to stay off of medicine, or should spend any amount of money to stay off of medicine, to stay out of the doctor's office, and all medicine has side effects. So we need to make up in our mind that I want to eat to live and not live to eat. And so what's really important about that is the fact that we may spend a little bit more money, but if it's going to last us the week, is money best spent. And if we stay out of the to-go line, the drive-through, then we're spending our money better. And if we teach our kids this, the better we will be.
Absolutely, absolutely. Chef Cassondra, I love you. Could you tell our listeners where they can follow you on social media and find you online? Because we want people to take advantage of your Valentine's Day event that's coming up virtually, as well as purchase your books and have you as a caterer.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yes, as far as Valentine's Day is coming up, next Saturday, we're offering a virtual cooking class for people to get ready to participate in cooking their own meal for their sweetheart. And so everybody, I want professors to be a chef. But now you can floss like a chef. You can boss like a chef. And I'm going to help you do that. So February 6th is a cooking class that I'm going to go through some things and I'm going to cook for you and share with you how you can do this. Now, actually, Valentine's Saturday, for a fee, you're able to log into a Zoom and we're going to cook the meal 2.5 hours before serve time at 6 o'clock. So that this is your opportunity to ask any question. Should it look like this? Should it taste like this? And how should I present it? So at chefcassondra.com is all the information that you'll need in order to find what we're doing, as well as the cookbooks that I have, 21 Days of New You, and Good Food, Good Meat, Praise the Lord, Let's Eat, which was my first book. And so, but basically, guys, I'm here to help. Again, food is our medicine and medicine is our food. And I want us to live longer and I want us to live on the other side, to the other side of this pandemic. I think it's just crucial.
Amen.